so often, actually more often than I like to admit, I find myself not speaking up. Not speaking up about what I feel, what I think, what I need, what I want. All because I'm afraid of the other person's reaction. Maybe in the past, I spoke my mind, or I was honest about what I really felt or what I needed and wanted, and it didn't go so well. You know, I didn't get the results I wanted, ended up feeling upset, and as if speaking up just wasn't worth it. And so I stopped. Right? Maybe you can relate to this, right? There's something you really feel like you want to say to somebody, but you're just afraid to do it, to open your mouth and say what you really feel, to be 100% honest, because you have a fear of the outcome. And that fear of the outcome is based on the past, on past things that have happened to you. And so you're basing your action on something in the past. Here's the thing. We all need to learn how to speak up for ourselves. If you can't say what you need, what you want, how you feel, what you think, then you're not being 100% honest. Now, granted, there are some situations when it's best not to speak up. But in general, if you want to have good relationships, you need to speak up for yourself. You need to say what it is you want and what you're feeling, and set some boundaries. If people are walking all over you or doing things that are upsetting to you, you need to set boundaries. And the only way to do that is to speak from your heart. Now, again, I get that there are some situations where this is super hard and there are people who are not so receptive. But as long as you don't speak up because of their reaction, your fear of their reaction, you hold yourself back. You feel powerless, you lose self-esteem, you keep yourself in situations that aren't good for you. So this is one of those times, speaking up is one of those times when you need to have courage. But you can't just drum up the courage to speak your mind. You can't wait to have enough courage to do that. Because courage is bold action. Courage is taking action that is bold, scary, right? We say move through the fear. Well, the way to courage is moving through the fear. It's not waiting till you have enough courage to move through the fear. So I want to encourage you to consider what kind of tough conversation you need to have with someone. What are the things you've been wanting to say to someone that you're not saying because you're too afraid? And begin to take some bold action and to speak up. Now, there are some ground rules for speaking up. One is, I would take some time to plan out your conversation. This is something I often forget to do, but to plan out your conversation. So you want to be thinking about the other person's aspirations. What do they want? Like, do they want a better relationship with you? Because if you can speak to what they want, and get what you want in line with getting them where they want to go, to what they want, you're more likely to get them on board, okay? So plan out your conversation and think about what they want and align what you want with that. They'll be much more receptive. If you can't figure out how to do that, then at least plan out what you're going to say so that you don't just blurt out a whole lot of emotional stuff and dump it at their feet, because that's not going to help you very much, right? So number one, planning. Number two, you need to speak to them without a lot of emotion. If you come at them with a lot of emotion, they're going to get overwhelmed. They're going to go into overload and they won't be able to process it, and they will react for sure. So process some of your emotions beforehand. Try to stay kind of even keel. I know it's hard. I'm a crier, and so when I have to say something that's tough or emotional, I tend to cry. I would say the crying, not so bad, but you don't want to come angry. Better not to cry. You don't want to come angry, resentful, belligerent, any of those kind of in-your-face emotions, okay? Because that's not going to help you. Okay, so planning, make the conversation unemotional, if at all possible, and use I statements. You do not want to say that they did something. You did this and it made me feel this way. No. I chose to feel this way. When you do X, I tell myself the story that, or, those kind of actions bring up in me these fears, this upset, right? So you want to come at it as not blaming, not pointing fingers at anybody, but taking full responsibility for your emotions, your reactions or responses to whatever it is that's going on. Okay? That also is going to make it much easier for them to hear what you have to say, rather than you saying, you did this and then it made me feel this way. No, that's not going to work. Okay? So you need to tell them what you think and feel and need and want coming from an I place. I find it difficult to hear you talk about this other person. And so I need you to know that it makes me uncomfortable, and therefore I'm choosing not to be around you when you're talking about that person. Or when you're drinking, it's hard for me to be around you, and so I'm going to choose out of that situation. You can drink, but because it makes me uncomfortable, I'm going to choose to go do something else when you drink, or not to spend time with you. Okay? What I need here is a boundary. It upsets me to see you drink, and so I'm creating a boundary around that for myself. You can do what you want. I'm telling you what I'm doing for me. And what I ask of you is, and here's sort of the ask of what you want from them, what I ask of you is to just understand that I need to do this for me. That this helps me, and in the process, it helps our relationship. So you see, I statements, okay? If you tend to read into something that other people, somebody's doing, then you definitely need to come at it with, the story I tell myself is. So when you drink, the story I tell myself is that you don't want to be with me, like you want to escape me. And so I'm hurt and feel lonely and feel like I'm, somehow unlovable. And I know that may not be what you are saying in that moment, because you're actually not saying anything, but that's what I kind of hear in my head. And I get upset, and then I'm angry, and I don't want to go there anymore. So I'm just going to choose out. I'm going to set a boundary around this. And I just need you to understand. No blame, no excuses, no nothing. No pointing a finger, no being resentful, no anger, right? So this is the kind of a conversation you need to have. These tough conversations are tough. They are. But it's also better not to put them off and to get a whole lot of stuff built up. Believe me, I know this. To get a bunch of things built up around somebody, and then you explode. Or when you do finally decide to tell them, you struggle with that, right? Because there's so much emotion, and you dump it all on them at once, and it's this explosion, and they're going to back up away from you for sure, and have a hard time hearing you due to the explosion. So don't do that. So plan, try to come from an unemotional place, use I statements, okay? And then decide when, and do these things sooner rather than later. So I want you to really think about, when you could have this conversation with someone, and I want you to build up the courage, not build up the courage. I want you to be courageous. I want you to take bold action towards in terms of speaking to them. So don't wait so long to do this, okay? That was the other thing. Don't wait long. When something's up for you, you need to say it. Don't wait for courage. Courage doesn't just show up. Courage is you making a decision to take bold action and speak from your heart. To speak and tell somebody what you honestly feel, what you honestly think, what you honestly need. Do it for yourself. You will feel better afterwards about yourself. I would bet you feel better about the relationship, even if it goes south, even if the result is not what you wanted, you're going to feel better about yourself because you will have been honest with yourself and honest with that person, right? And that's going to build up your self-esteem, build up your courage. You're going to feel like you can take more bold action because you acted courageously already. So that's it for today. That's my challenge to you. Tackle some kind of tough conversation this week. Take bold action towards expressing yourself 100% honestly, okay, you're going to feel better. You will. I know it's tough. I know, believe me. And I don't like confrontation any more than anyone else, but don't think of it as confrontation. Think of it as just you being honest and trying to improve your relationships, okay? Being bold, taking bold action. That's it for today. I'm Nina Amir, the Inspiration to Creation Coach. Can't even say that. Inspiration to Creation Coach. I like to help people get from where they are now to where they want to go without anything getting in the way. And I'm passionate about helping you create things in your life, create your best self, create ways for you to fulfill your potential and your purpose, ways for you to manifest what you want in your life. A lot of this happens up here. We have to control that, our mind. We can't control it, but we have to master our mind. And that's kind of like worrying about the result when it hasn't happened yet. Thinking about the past result you didn't like and thinking it's going to happen. We need to stop doing those kind of things because that gets in the way of creating what you want in your life. So I'm a certified high performance coach, one of about 800 in the world. I'm also a law of attraction coach and an author coach. And I would love to help you step into your best self, to help you fulfill your passion and your potential, your purpose, combine your passion with your purpose so you get inspired and take inspired action, because that's how you're going to get inspired results. So if that's of interest to you, click on the link above, wherever it is, click on the link above. That will take you to my a page that's all about certified high performance coaching. And if you scroll down, there's an application, and you can fill out the application for a free 90-minute strategy session with me, okay? Free strategy session, you and I talking about high performance and how you can step into your best self and create the self and the life that you really want, okay? So fill out the application, send it in, get on my calendar, and if you are more interested in group coaching, I offer that too. So just go to the sales page, take a look around, fill out the application, let's get on the phone and talk. I would love that. Okay, that's it for today. Until I talk to you next time, go out there and achieve more inspired results.